The Earnestly Speaking podcast is a show that is founded on free-flowing conversation and may at times venture into mature subjects. Listener discretion is advised.
Earnestly podcast coming to you May 14th, 2024. My intro once again not working properly. I'm gonna have to change this intro very soon. I'll just modify it a little bit. How you guys doing? First off, if I look tired, because I am tired, I'm actually out of this show because I have no choice. Something to start the show. I am tired because I actually last night literally worked on my day job, worked a 18.5-hour shift. And this is not very typical. It happens ever, really. Very, very rare this happens. But, team player, we got a lot of things going in my day job that had to be done. And I was there to help out with that. So that's that. Just that. And plus, needed money. You guys been heard on the podcast a couple weeks, car issues and things, and my savings got a little drained because of that. So I gotta put back in, and if there's opportunities to make extra money, if as long as I'm able to not kill myself, I'm good. So I worked from 9 o'clock in the morning yesterday and got out of work at after 2 o'clock in the morning, 2:30 in the morning. So yeah, that's that. That's what went on with me yesterday. That's why I'm a little tired. And I woke up in the morning. I woke up at 7 in the morning to take my kids to school. So things don't change. Things don't change here. But yeah, how you guys doing, by the way? First solo pod in a week. And a lot of things on my mind right now, mainly about a lot of things about the summer. I think about the summer a lot. Where with my kids, they're 2.5 weeks away from school ending for the year. My oldest son, hopefully, will be moving to 6th grade. He's a couple of grades. He's trying to get in order, but he most likely will be in 6th grade next year. Start middle school. My youngest one will be starting 2nd grade. He's an honor roll student. He's gotten honor roll every single semester this year, and most likely we'll get a 4th one, clean sweep here. So with us, the summertime is a big deal in a sense that, with our schedules, my wife and I schedules, we have to be very, very careful and be very cognizant of how to occupy their time, because our work schedules don't change. It still stays the same. But the difference now is that the days where I'll have like this time, for example, right now, I'm recording right now a podcast, that's gone now. But let me phrase that. Not that it's gone. They're going to be home on the day for the next 8 weeks after vacation starts, where they'll be home with us, and we'll have to find ways to keep them active. My kids aren't necessarily kids that are indoor kids. Yes, they play video games once in a while. They'll play in the house and this and that. But what I've come to learn in the last year or two, and especially as of late, is that both my boys are massive outdoor kids. They love being outside. And I think it's great. I think it's awesome. I hear a lot of stories from parents I'm friends with, especially too, that they can't even get the kids out of the house to even go check the mail or even go walk the dog. They want to be inside playing on the computers and on their iPads and on their, on the cell phones or video games, or maybe my kids are not like that. My kids love to go biking. They love riding bikes every day. They love playing football, playing sports, going to the pool, swimming. And I'm grateful for that because it's good. But it's also one of those things where it can be tough to keep up with because they do wear me out. There are days like, for example, on Sundays when they're home, on Sundays, we could be out for a good 8 hours of the day. Them being outside and do the activities and stuff of that nature. And by the time we get to the point where we're winding down a day, at 6 o'clock in the evening for dinner, I'm parched. I'm done. I'm worn out. And they go to bed. And then the time I have with my wife the rest of the night, I end up falling asleep early because I'm just physically done. So it's one of those things now where the summer's here, they're a year older, you got to find more things to do. This summer should be fascinating though, because my nieces will be spending the summer with us. Not overnight, none of that stuff, but my brother and my sister-in-law are, they have work schedules, of course, similar work schedules. Um, and they were going to put them in summer camp, but summer camp was massive expensive. Like, I think they told me it's like $1,000 for both kids for a month. And I told them, no, don't do that. Just send them here. Send them here with us. We'll watch them, because we're blessed. My wife and I are blessed that no matter what, there's always an adult home every day. If, for example, I'm here today, I'm off today, my wife's at work all day today, and vice versa. So I'll be home or she'll be home and watch the kids. And it's really cool because my nieces, who are close in age, they're 11 and 9. They're very close to my kids, and they're very calm too. Also, they're a nice little balance to have. So, in a sense, you have a little bit of a built-in babysitter kind of thing, a little bit. Not necessarily they're gonna watch our kids and none of that nature, but it'll make it easier to at least take a little bit of pressure off of us, also as parents too. Because my kids tend to get really bored really quickly, so having a distraction there does help. Also, it also helps that we have a nice little starting to build a nice little support system too. Also, I told them to watch their kids for the summer. They'll watch our boys. If we need help, if we need to go to a concert or a date night, they'll watch our kids for us. So it's really cool to have that in place. So we have that, and then I also have a nice little community of friends and family and friends really at work that will have kids, and we do a lot of activities together. And we're gonna start doing activities as well too. We're on weekends, like pool days and little activities here and there throughout the summer to keep all of our kids occupied, which is important. Keep those communities strong and bonded. Um, but another goal I have in mind this summer as well, and I'm kind of losing my voice because last night I was doing a stream till like 2:30 in the morning. Is I'm starting to get the desire to learn how to grill. You probably don't know this, but I don't really cook. Like, I'm okay with breakfast. I make a really good breakfast. My wife will tell you that. But my much of a cook. I've grown up in a family where my mom always did all the cooking. My grandmother, my stepfather always had meals made for me. So I never really made the effort to go and cook. Well, I've been saying, actually, they're both on the podcast last week. Well, the last episode we did, my neighbors, Chris and Trey, were on the podcast last week, and we've really gotten close last couple months, especially. And one of the things they do a lot here is they grill a lot, and I eat a lot with them. And I'll chip in and obviously with stuff, whatever. But they grill a lot, and again, I've never owned a grill. I mean, I have a Foreman grill or George Foreman grill. But that's about it. But it's a small little thing. That's really nothing. But now also I have the desire now. I feel like a schmuck now. It's like, these guys are my same age as me, and they're grilling every week and whatnot. And I don't know how to grill, and I feel so small around them because I don't grill. So I told Lauren, my wife, this week, listen, one of my goals before football starts this year, I want to try to buy a grill, and then also try to start grilling every so often, and just kind of get into the thick of that, because it's a lot of fun also too. My neighbor's Trey, he said that grilling for him is like therapy. It's kind of the same way with podcasting for me also. It's just therapy for me. Come on here and talk to you guys about my life, about sports, wrestling, pop culture, things on my mind, TV shows, all that. So that's one of my biggest goals this year is to learn how to grill. I gotta figure out what grill I want to get. I want to get a gas grill. I want to get a pellet grill. I don't know. There's so many different options out there. Someone who loves to eat, who loves food, it is surprising that I don't, know how to grill. That's shocking. I know, but I'm gonna take the effort to start trying that, trying to apply certain things, certain interests, and get out my comfort zone. And then also, with my family too. Also, my dad's side of the family. It's been a long time since we've done this. Every year we used to do a thing called Cousins Weekend, where like all my siblings, and then my cousins on my dad's side of the family and their families and their spouses and families get together and have a weekend together. Um, or maybe it could be Memphis, it could be whatever, New Orleans, it could be whatever, Orlando. We haven't done a couple of years though because since COVID, and not only that, we also have a lot of growing families. Not necessarily mine, but my cousins have a growing family now, so has been a priority as of late to do that because we've been busy with growing our families and this other things in the way. So, but we are considering this summer breaking the fast and actually trying to do a cousins weekend. I know someone mentioned New Orleans, um, Tennessee's on the table, I think, as well. Um, yeah, so that's another priority for later in the summer. Hopefully, we'll make that. We're going to prioritize that because this is the summer. This is the summer on the go I want, and this also fits of the things I want to do. Do more, do more. I keep talking about preaching in the show about doing more. I want to do more. I want to be a bit more active. Be do things with friends and family. Opportunities there. I know money is a thing and this and that. Everything's expensive and all that, but if my wife and I work good jobs, what's the point of us working good jobs if we can't enjoy our life also too with our friends and family and enjoy the fruits of our labor? So we're gonna do that. We have a couple of Disney trips already planned for day trips to Disney already planned. I think we're planning one in June. I know my kids are going with her. I'm not gonna be able to make this one unfortunately. I don't want to take time for work, but they're gonna go the day after school ends, and I know I'm planning one with the family in June, maybe another one in July. Who knows? So that's the summer right now at a glance. Um, that I'm hoping to accomplish this summer: grilling, traveling, spending quality time with friends and family, and just living life as I see fit. And of course, podcasting. Still going to do the podcast. So that's the plan this summer. Hopefully, we can. Hopefully, I can especially make this a reality. Doing all these things I want to do. Okay. NBA talk. NBA talk. We are officially right now every series in second round of playoffs so far. All 4 games are in. The game 5 start tonight. I know Pacers. I said Pacers and Knicks game 5 starts tonight, as well as Timberwolves and Nuggets. Both series tied at 2. Both have been really really good series. Pacers Knicks first. Knicks started becoming bad with attrition now. I had Knicks and sub originally. Injuries on pile up a little bit now. I had Knicks and 7 still, but I don't know. Pacers are one of those teams where they have the floor could be low at times, but the ceiling is kind of high as well too when they play well. I thought after game 3, not having OG and Anunoby for the Knicks in that game and New York, Indiana barely escaping in game 3, I thought, well, you know what? I can't trust this team. The Knicks in 5, they'll win game 4 and then close on 5. But then Indiana came back game 4 and blew the doors off the Knicks. At this point, the series is going anywhere. New York's banged up. Indiana's trying to get hot again. I don't know. Like, I had New York in 7. If you ask me right now how I feel based on seeing through 4 games, Indiana might win this series. Indiana got robbed in game 1. And also game 2, the officiating was very heavy-handed against Indiana in those first 2 games. And then they got on the way in games 3 and 4. I like to see a series where the officials are actually consistent. Love to see that. But I don't know. I had New York in 7 initially. And then I don't know. I think Indiana now, higher powers, has more weapons than New York. New York's playing like a harder champion. New York's playing with a lot of heart, but if you don't have the bodies to sustain that, I mean, again, this is the Tom Thibodeau way. This is what he does. He wears on guys with shorter rotations and all this stuff. Might be Pacers in 6. If Indiana steals game 5 tonight, it's over in 6. That's what I'll say. Then the next series, that's tonight, game 5. T-Wolves and Nuggets tied 2 apiece. If you told me 5 days ago, 4 days ago that we would exit this weekend and Minnesota would have blown an 0-2 lead after winning 2 games on the road, Denver looking like absolute garbage game 2 especially, and they'll turn things around in a big way, not only winning the next 2 games in Minnesota, but also blowing out Minnesota in the process of doing that, dominating them. I'll say no way in hell. And yeah, here we are, 2-2 series. I think Denver's back in the lead now. I had Denver in 6 for the series started. I'm kind of leaning to that now, I guess. But again, this is all 4 of these games have been road teams. All the road teams have won all the games so far. does Denver break that cycle, or does Minnesota continue that trek where they win on the road in Game 5? I don't know. But all I know is what I've seen from Denver the last couple of games, Jamal Murray has been unlocked again. Nikola Jokic reminding folks who he is. Aaron Gordon balling. The champs are the champs, man. I'll stick with my Denver in 6 pick from original. But we'll see how tonight goes. By the way, that's late game tonight. 10:30 start tonight. Tip off. I gotta work tomorrow morning 9:00. I'm gonna try to stay awake. Obviously, I say that, but I will stay awake because I'm an NBA diehard. But I'm gonna need rest. I am so tired right now, and I need rest. We'll see how that goes. And then the next series also on the East, Celtics and Cavs. That series is over. 3-1 Celtics. Donovan Mitchell missed Game 4. Probably missed Game 5 too. Most likely, even if he was play Game 5, do you see any scenario they win Game 5? No. Celtics win that series. They go to conference finals. That's easy. Thunder and Mavs is interesting though. Last night's game, the Mavs were pretty much in control up until late in the fourth quarter, and they would take a 3-1 series lead. I had Mavs in 6 because of the inexperience of Dallas, of OKC rather, the Thunder. Kind of feel like last night the Thunder grew up a little bit. SGA, phenomenal series, phenomenal game 4. Kind of feel like the Thunder's going to grow up a little bit. The young team, obviously overachieved this year. Number 1 seed in the Western Conference. I still like Dallas in 6 though. I just think you have Kyrie Irving, who's been struggling most of the series. I expect him to have a massive game 5. Luka's been kind of weird this series. Not scoring a lot, but doing a lot of other things, getting guys involved. PG Washington's been dominating, especially for the Mavericks. No one saw that coming. I think Mavs just have the experience. I just think I trust them more right now. So I'm going to stick to my Mavs in 6 pick there for that one. So that's where we're at now with the playoffs. Maybe this week we'll have on another guest to talk about NBA. We'll see how that goes. I'm going to try to keep it easy this week, though, with the podcast, obviously. But one thing that I did find out, that news that we're hearing now that's really depressing, is that we could be seeing the very end of Inside the NBA on TNT. And why? Because the NBA is about to possibly sign a new TV deal with NBC. NBC maybe coming back to the forefront after 22 years of not being, or 20 years of not having NBA rights. NBC has reportedly made a bid. The number reportedly is $2.5 billion for the rights to the NBA. And TNT so far has not matched it. I'm not sure I have any interest in matching it at all. But if they don't match it, the NBA on NBC will return. Now, everybody's saying, "Oh, it's great! NBC, you get the theme song back." And as someone who was raised in that era, because I remember watching basketball the first year NBC debuted on NBC, back in 1991, the 1991 season. That was one of the first years I started watching basketball. Second year I watched basketball, and I remember that being a core of my childhood. Watching games where Dick Enberg, Steve Snapper Jones, Marv Albert, and Mike Fratello, and then Matt Kukas, and all the classic guys. And of course the theme music. And look, I'll be great. I'll be excited to have the theme music back, without question. I'm not even mad about that. But I am not, at the risk of losing Inside the NBA, the greatest, in my opinion, in many people's opinions, really, the greatest sports studio show in the history of sports media. Can't do it, man. Charles Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny Smith, Ernie Johnson, running the show. I can't do it. And not only that, NBA and TNT has been part of my life, even longer than NBA and NBC. So I remember NBA and TNT with Ernie Johnson by himself for years, hosting the show from 1989. And then Charles Barkley, when he retired, actually it was Kenny first. Kenny Smith first retired. He was on the show. Then Charles Barkley joined the show. And it was those 3 guys for a long time. Then Shaq came in there, and Shaq, I was very apprehensive about Shaq being on the show, but he ended up being a great addition to the show. I can't imagine a world where I don't have the NBA, Inside the NBA on TNT. So I'm praying to God that Warner Brothers or whoever, Turner, whoever who owns the rights, matches or ups the offer. Because the word is, if it's NBA, if the NBA goes to TNT, it's no longer, goes to NBC, it's no longer on on TNT. Charles Barkley is going to quit. He has an opt out on his contract apparently. Shaq's going to stop doing TV. Who knows what Kenny's going to do? And Ernie Johnson said he even if the rumor is that Ernie Johnson will still stay on TNT, which means we won't have the Ernie factor. And those four guys need to be together. Those four guys, even if you have Chuck on another show, it doesn't quite work without Ernie. You need the synergy, those four guys. So I'm crossing my fingers. I'm praying to God that TNT, Warner Brothers or whoever owns, I think it's Warner Brothers, finds a way to match or even up an offer. Because as much as I would love to see NBA on NBC, the theme song, all that, not at the risk of losing Inside the NBA. I'm sorry. Inside the NBA. I know that I actually love the NBA and TNT theme songs also too. So that's where I'm at on that. All right, some TV talk here. Finally, after 12 years and after binging the last couple months, the wife and I finally finished Sopranos. We finished it on Sunday night. And this show is everything I thought would be. It's the hype is definitely there. The hype is warranted. The ending, obviously, everybody knows the ending is very controversial. Obviously, I not necessarily love the ending just because I don't get no closure. I don't think I hate it as much as people hated it at the time. But I thought season 6 was great. I want to go too much in the weeds here right now because I'm planning a podcast with a good friend of mine in a couple weeks. We're going to talk about The Sopranos because it is the 25th anniversary of the show, and we're going to do like a top 10 rankings of favorite characters and some superlatives. So I don't want to go too much in the weeds, here. But I will say this much: season 6, my favorites. Love watching the character arc, especially to Paulie in season 6, Vito. AJ, who was annoying as hell, but AJ's character arc was really fascinating to watch. Lots of really good things in this show to really pluck out. I'll say it again, and I said this in the podcast a couple weeks ago. This show does not age well, really. I think this show was actually written for today. It had to be dumbed down, and because there's a lot of racism and a lot of things, very authentic, very bold content on here. And in this woke culture, woke era of 2024, I just don't think it'll hold up. Other people say, nah, it's not HBO. Yeah. But the problem is you have a lot more people on the other side who will get offended by every little thing, pluck the show, and end up not getting the same love and respect as it probably did back in 1999 to 2007. So, but I the show itself, I enjoyed it. I rank it it's probably top 15 show for me all time. I can make a case of top 10, maybe. We'll see. Gotta let some couple of years to see. But it's definitely a top show. I'll watch it again. My wife says she'll watch it again. She loved the show, but she'll watch it again. Because it triggered her. Because there's not a lot of characters she really likes. She can't stand Tony Soprano's character. Being all the infidelity he was doing, all the stuff, and I can totally get it. But that's kind of that's part of the point of the show is that this is the era of the anti-hero. So, but I'll watch it again down the road. But I got a lot of shows I'm behind on. I need to watch anyway. So maybe a couple of years again I'll watch this. But the ending didn't bother me as much as I thought. But yeah, great show. I'm glad I finally finished it. I still gotta watch a prequel. Is it the Saints of Newark? I think it's called. Didn't hear any good things, really great things about the show, about the movie anyway. Again, the prequel, but I will watch it at some point, probably this week with the wife. We'll see. But yeah, look up for that podcast we're gonna do on this feed. Hopefully in early June, where we'll discuss just all the superlatives of the show, top 10 rankings of the characters we like, and all that, and we'll let you know. All right, a couple things to get out here. Also, another thing I've been binging a lot too. I've been binging the first 2 seasons of WWE Rivals. It's on A&E. Roku actually has the first 2 seasons with ads, of course, on their platform though. To watch the other 2 seasons, I think right now they're currently putting out season 4. They finished season 3 recently. That's on the A&E app. I gotta get the A&E app, obviously, for that. But excuse me, my voice is cracking. I apologize. I've enjoyed it because they bring up some of the biggest rivalries in history of the company in WWE. And obviously you have the ones that are obvious: Hogan, Andre, Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart, Austin and Rock. But as you guys know, there was a 17-year period where I didn't watch the product. And they also cover rivalries that I did not follow in real time. For example, Edge and John Cena, Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero. Um, yeah, the Randy Orton Undertaker rivalry that I didn't watch in real time. So while there were a lot of things that they covered on there that I was familiar with, also just as much as a lot of things on there I did not watch. I was able to watch for the first time and get more clarity of the rivalry. And the cool thing about WWE Rivals, and A&E's doing this now, A&E's doing the Legends thing, doing the rivalries and all this stuff. A lot of content, not WWE content on their platform now, is that they actually look at the rivalries not just from a kayfabe point of view, not just on screen. They also get a little bit of the behind the curtain, how is this booked, and why it was booked this way, and how things were in real time in real life. WWE is now acknowledged now that look, this is sports entertainment, this is scripted and all that. So they've really embraced, this whole thing, when it comes to okay, look at Austin and Rock, not just on screen, but also how did it affect them in real life, with business and business picking up and Austin's injuries and Rock searching behind him. Perfect example of that. I love how they're giving more insight. I've always told you guys, and this is the reason why I came back to watch wrestling in 2019. I'm so fascinated at the business itself. I'm more fascinated about the business of wrestling, not just watching the product on screen, but even more so off screen. Why they book this match? Why they went this direction? Business, all this stuff. It's a fascinating business. It really is. So I recommend obviously watching it. Favorite episode. I sort of tell which favorite episode's mine. I enjoyed the Roddy Piper Hogan one actually. That was the last one season 2 I actually watched. But they're all great. All stand up. Every episode stands out for a reason. The Undertaker Mankind episode was great. They break down they broke down the when they met at SummerSlam 1996 the Ballroom Brawl. They broke down how they did that. They broke down how they filmed the day before the actual event, and then they had to do things because the Undertaker had a cut on his arm when they filmed it the day before that, and they had to somehow they kept the cut open because they want to keep the continuity of when they did the final part of the match in the ring, which it did in real time. So they had to keep that fresh. It's such a cool, a lot of cool stories and things you learn about beyond the rivalry and within the rivalry and the impact of how they affected them and people around them. Definite watch. Check it out. It's on A&E. Like I said, you have Roku. You can watch the first 2 seasons on Roku for free. With ads, but the ads weren't that bad. The ads weren't that long, honestly. So I was actually able to get through a lot of these episodes in 2 weeks. So, all right. Finally, one more thing we got out of here. I want to talk about a topic that Shaquille O'Neal. It's funny, I just mentioned him inside the NBA. So remember, he was married to a woman named Shawnee O'Neal. Shawnee O'Neal, I think, is part of the Hollywood. What's that thing? The TV show, the Hollywood Wives, the something Wives of Hollywood, Beverly Hills. I don't know, whatever. One of those shows. But they were married for about 10 years, I think, 2002, 2011, I think it was. And they have 4 kids together. Her and Shaq. She recently put up a memoir, and in the memoir, she stated that that she never doesn't know if she ever really was in love with Shaquille O'Neal. That she loved him, but she knows she was in love. Here's a quote she put here from the memoir. She goes, quote, looking back, I don't know if I was ever really in love with the man, but I was in love with the idea of being married to the man I had a family with. This caused a lot of uproar, especially with a lot of men. I'll say this much. Because a lot of men are saying, well, this is the gold digger, obviously, and you can make argument with that, of course. I mean, whatever. That's an opinion. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Who knows? I do appreciate the fact that she was honest about this. Because, look, you'd rather a person be honest and transparent than not, right? But I'm not gonna lie to you. When I first saw the quote, it rubbed me the wrong way. The first thing came to my mind, I have to admit, was, oh yeah, gold digger, great, cool. Shaquille O'Neal was classy about it. She goes, he basically said, that I don't blame you. I mean, I wouldn't love me either, because Shaquille O'Neal was known to being a massive he cheated on her up and down, and he explained in his book that came in 2011 why he did it, and it wasn't about hurting her; it's about the ego and about the the conquest and all that stuff. But it brought also the thing I thought about also too about love and in love. I think people sometimes misuse what the word love and in love means, the difference between the two, and how hard it is to decipher the two and how to apply the two when it comes to a marriage or a relationship. I know in the case of myself, and this is why I'm so blessed to have the spouse I do have, that I know that not only am I, do I love her, I'm in love with her, but being in love too also is not something it's hard to be in love with someone consistently. You'll always love someone no matter what, but there's sometimes when in a marriage where you'll hate the person or you'll get sick of the person, and in that moment not in love with her, and that's fine. But it's the ebb and flows of a relationship. But I'm blessed to at least look. I've been with my wife now, with her 18 years, married 14. No, sorry, 13. 13 years married, 18 years with her this July. I know that I'm more in love with her now than I was even when I met her. And I think a lot of it too also is that I think for look, I can't speak for everybody else because everybody's relationship is different. I think all the things we've gone through as a family, as a couple, especially all the challenges, has ultimately risen my respect for her. I think there's nothing wrong sometimes with not being in love with someone you're with once in a while, because again, it's so hard to maintain that because everything is we look at love almost in a very superficial way. That's about the feelings and the butterflies. Look, that stuff is not real all the time. You can't have the butterflies and the feelings that way 24/7. Maybe there are people who do that, but that's not realistic. The love you see on TV and reading romance novels and TV shows and all that stuff, that's not realistic. Certainly not in my world. Love is doing things you don't want to do, but you do it because it's the right thing to do. Because you want to be there for your family and be there for your spouse. That's love, which then translates into the person or the person, either persons being in love with each other. I actually, sitting on this couple of days in this topic and watching, seeing some of the back and forth between Shawnee and Shaq and all that, I kind of actually admire her in a sense of her honesty. I also don't know if she wasn't in love with him because of the cheating as well too. Maybe she loved him because of the money, and that's why she was with him in the first place. Who knows? I can't answer that question. That's the assumption. People are assuming that, and maybe that's the case. But I think we also need to take a step back and also realize that relationships are hard, man. They're a lot of work. They're hard, and this is why the divorce rate is so high. People quit because they can't hang with it. I get it, but I can only speak of myself and what I have with my spouse. I love her. I'm in love with her. And she tells me the same thing too. Also, which I'm blessed to have that. But there's also respect too. Also, I think again, I don't think being in love is something you can maintain all the time. It's hard. It's hard to sustain that because there's sometimes you're gonna not like a spouse, and in that moment you're not in love with a spouse, and that's okay. It's okay. Love is very wide. There are many ways to love your spouse in relationship. So anyway, I'm done doing Dr. Drew here. I'm done being pretending I'm Dr. Drew. But I'm on Twitter /X at EJ Christian 7. Guys, please subscribe to my YouTube page at youtube.com/Earnest Christian. We have a couple podcasts this week planned out so far. And until we get those podcasts through, we'll talk to you guys soon. And stay up, stay positive. I'm gonna go take a nap now because I'm really tired. And we'll talk soon. Love you guys. Take care and see you.